What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Duane Goodman here with Life of Christ Short Sermon. Short, sweet, but give you what you need. And happy Easter to everybody. I know this is not a physical Easter where we can worry about our physical and how we look and everything, but I feel like this Easter is about the mental renewal, because we're all at home in quarantine, and I feel like this is the great time to work on ourselves, our mental health, and all that stuff so that when we do be able to go back out into the world, it's great, and we already have the mental and the physical, right? So let me talk about the history of Easter. So it's all about when Jesus was the Son of God. He came to earth and he's done all these amazing things. He's healing people. He's resurrecting people from the dead, right? It's a great time. Nobody ever seen this before because we're like, oh, who is this guy? And he's sharing everybody he's the Messiah and everything. But the Jewish leaders, they did not like that at all. So they try to get rid of him because it's taking away all their knowings and all of their know-hows. And so Judas was one of Jesus' 12 disciples, and he turned on Jesus, for the money and also, of course, the envy. So they end up arresting Jesus, and they brought him to the Pontius Pilate. And Pontius Pilate, at first, he didn't see any wrong in Jesus because Jesus never sinned, he never cursed, he never swore anything. And so therefore, at first, he didn't see any fault in Jesus, and then all of a sudden, everybody was like, crucify him, crucify him. So everybody was chastising him to the point that Pontius Pilate was like, all right, I'll let you guys do what you want to do to him. And so then after that, they end up beating Jesus to the point where Jesus couldn't even stand on his own. He was unrecognizable by people who seen Jesus before, and they was like, who is this bloody animal? And they seen it was Jesus because they beat him so bad. And so after that, Jesus had to carry his own cross. And it was so bad to the point that he had to get help to carry his cross. So then they went to Calvary, and then they had to hang him. And so they hung him in between two thieves. I'm going to get to them later. So I have 3 points that I want to bring with you guys today. So one point is, will you deny your cross and be for the world, or accept it and go to God? The second point, remember your purpose. And third, limitations do not exist, okay? And I will do Bible references throughout, so y'all be ready, all right? The first point I want to give up to you guys is remember your purpose. Throughout the Bible, Jesus did great things. He did a lot of miracles. He healed people. He did this. He did that. But that was what God was called to earth to do, right? Jesus came to earth to do all those great things. The Lord knew that if he did all these great things to people and he resurrected people, at the end he was going to be crucified and betrayed. Because at the Last Supper, he told all his disciples, look, y'all, I know one of you guys is going to betray me. Somebody's going to betray me at this table. And everybody was like, who was going to do that? And it ended up being Judas. See, Jesus didn't think about, oh my gosh, if I do this, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Because he knew he was called on earth to do the miracles, and he knew what his life was going to end up being, right? And so that's the same thing with your life. What are your strengths and passions? The Lord has created you because he knows that he's going to maximize your strengths and your passions. Don't listen to what everybody else says, like, oh, you look like you should do this, you should do that. Because at the end of the day, it's what the Lord has put in your heart. Not what people have for your life, it's what the Lord has for your life. So don't ever just write yourself off just because everybody else is writing you off. Everybody was writing Jesus off at the point of Luke 22:67. So write that down, Luke 22:67. And so at this point, everybody was mocking Jesus at this point, right? And they was like, oh, he's not all he claims to be. And you know what Jesus said? Jesus said, if I tell you, you will not believe. It's not everybody's job to believe in your future. Are you going to believe in yourself? Are you going to believe in the passion that you've been called to earth to do? You know the great things you can do in this life. You know the great things that God has put you on this earth to do. So therefore, why would you listen to somebody else who doesn't even know half the things you do in your day? Don't let them write you off because you're great and destined for so much more, all right? So always remember that. Point number 2, family, is will you accept your cross or will you deny your cross, right? So this takes place in Calvary with the other 2 thieves I told you about, right? And so this is going to be Luke 23:39 and Luke 23:42. So we're going to talk about 39 first, all right? So let's talk about when Justice is one of the thieves. And so just like everybody who was mocking Jesus, Justice was also kind of mocking him and like asking like these. He said, since you are the Son of God, take us down with you. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying like, oh, save me, please. He's done bad things because he's a thief and therefore he's crucified. But he wants Jesus, since he's the Messiah, oh, take us, get us out of here, free us. You know what I'm saying? But Dismas, on the other hand, he's the other thief. He said he understood his faults. He understood all the sins he did and he took the punishment. But he asked Jesus, remember me when you go into the kingdom. So now, it's easy to rely on evil. And distractions of the world, and when we go wrong, we always going down that wrong path. We know what's right and wrong, but we're going to go into the bad things of life, and we're going to keep engulfing in it and indulging in it. You know what I'm saying? And our focus is all distraught. But in this story, you can learn it's not too late to come to God, because just like Justice, Dismas was also bad as well, and he done bad things, he sinned as well. But Dismas, on the other hand, he told God, he understood, all right, I did bad, I did all this, but God, now I'm coming to you. So now when I say, will you accept your cross or will you deny it? Accepting your cross is understanding that you've done bad. All of us have sinned. All of us have done great and bad things. But it's, are you going to come back to Jesus or come back to the Lord? Because Justice, on the other hand, Justice was just, oh, I didn't do it. Like, I did something wrong, but just save me. Just save me out of here. And he probably would have learned from his lessons if he did get that chance to go back, right? So a lot of us, we're going down that wrong path, but are you willing to come back? Or are you going to keep going back down that path? Because it's never too late. Because Dismas, he ended up going to heaven with God because God didn't forget him, because he did say, he turned his life over because he was like, oh, I've done bad, but I'm coming back to you. Will you accept or deny your cross? I feel like everybody should accept the cross. And even if you're doing bad things and you're going down the wrong path, come back to God, because God wants to know your heart and he wants to change your life. It's not too late. You're not dying right now in terms of all the bad things you've done. You know what I'm saying? Because God wants to give you a second chance. So go back to God, because he'll do great. He'll take you to paradise. All right? Promise you. Now, point number 3, everybody, is point number 3 time. It's the last one. You feel me? Stop playing. So the third point is limitations don't exist. The resurrection story. I know all y'all thought I forgot about that. You know what I'm saying? So after the crucifixion, Jesus was placed in the tomb, right? And so before that, of course, everybody knows that he said he was the Messiah, and he also said to his disciples that, hey, I'm going to rise on the 3rd day. So then the Jewish leaders, they're like, oh, no, we ain't going to let that happen. So they put a guard outside the tomb, right? So, of course, everybody's going to think that you're crazy and your aspirations are just, like, not going to happen because, you know, they're not in your life. They just see, like, what the standard is and what the regular people think, and so they're like, oh, they're going to write you off, right? But everybody's going to doubt you until you do it. Until you do it, they're going to doubt you, right? And so, as you can see, in Luke 24, 2-3, it's talking about how the stone was rolled away and the body was gone. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, whoa, what happened? What happened? There's a guard out front. How did this tomb get rolled away and Jesus is gone, right? And so, everybody thought the body was stolen until Jesus came back to earth and he talked to all his disciples and also Mary, and was saying that, hey, like, I am alive. You see the holes in my hand where the resurrection was, right? You see this. And so he showed everybody that he overcome his circumstances. Now let's talk about your life. Limitations are placed on people who believe other people's thoughts, and this will restrict their result, right? People made fun of Christ, and because they thought he was doing impossible things, and he's like, oh yeah, he's not gonna do that. But everybody not going to believe your goals until you achieve them. You have to achieve them, everybody. All right? Don't ever write yourself off because everybody's writing you off. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, no one's going to understand your dreams until you do it, or nobody's going to understand it because they might be hating on you. They might be mocking you just because they can't do what you can do. All right? Everybody has something special in their self. Everybody can't be an engineer. Everybody can't be a teacher. But if you're specified in those areas and guys put those qualities and capabilities in your life, then you can do it. Don't listen to everybody else's, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. Because no matter what, if you really put your mind to it and you actually work for that and dedicate your whole life, don't worry about the distractions like on the cross. Like Justice was talking about all the distractions. Like he was put, like his sin took over his body, and to the point where that's all he knew. And he didn't want to do anything else. He just wanted to get saved and get off that cross, right? But when you come back to Jesus like Dismas did, you come back to him and be like, you know what? I accept it and I want to move forward. You know, I want to live a new life, right? That's when it really matters. And now you have to achieve your dreams, right? So let me talk about this. John 11:25-26. It says, I am the resurrection and the life. One who believes in me will live, even though they die. Whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe in this? Now, y'all, I know life is going to throw curveballs at us, just like this quarantine did, and I know a lot of people are sick, and I know a lot of people have lost people. But no, God does great things, and don't count him out, because God's gonna do great things in your life. And I know that maybe things don't seem right, and things in your life you may feel like there's no way. But think about when Jesus resurrected people. Think about when Jesus rose from the dead, like what Easter is all about. He resurrected on the third day, even when he told everybody, and nobody believed in him at the point, right? But until he did it. Nobody's gonna believe in your dream until you do it. But the only way it's gonna happen is if you dedicate yourself to that, and you fill your heart with love, and fill your heart with Jesus, and therefore you can see all the good things he's gonna do for you. Because when Dismas gave his life to Jesus and said, "Take me to the paradise," Jesus took him with him. Jesus took Dismas with him, but because he renewed his life, he renewed his mind. So will you do the same thing? Happy Easter, everybody. I love y'all, and stay safe, all right? Bless.